The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There's a wonderful segula that's brought in the Sfarim HaKdoshim, specifically for people who are looking to get married. And the segula is that when it comes to B'Shvat, to be able to find a particular fruit tree, an almond tree, a fig tree, date tree, and to go and to climb up onto this tree and to hang off of one of the branches of the tree the name of your friend who is looking to get married on Tu B'Shvat. And it must hang there the entire Tu B'Shvat. Now, again, you're looking to me for answers? Forget about it. But one thing I will tell you. I have a distant family member from Ashkelon who was told about this segula. And today it makes a lot of sense to me. You know, every time I go to Eretz Yisrael, one place I never miss is the great and mystical and wonderful city of Tzfat. And there in Tzfat, I run quickly to the old cemetery of Tzfat. And there I make my way down that very steep mountain, starting with the Mikveh de Arizal. And from there making my way down to the Kever of the Arizal, right next to the Lecha Dodi. Going a little further down to Maran Bet Yosef, the cave of Chana and her 7 sons, buried there as well on this mountain. The Al-Shich HaKadosh. Finally making your way down to the bottom of the mountain to the great Reb Pinchas ben Yair. Right next to the Kever of Reb Pinchas ben Yair, the place that many people walk around 7 times, you'll see that there are a few trees there that are covered with all types of plastic bags tied to the tree, blowing in the wind. And I always wondered, why are these people tying plastic bags to these trees? What do they want from the trees? It never made sense to me. Until finally I came across in the Sfarim, this Gula, that those trees right next to the Kever of Pinchas ben Yair, not only it's in a Makom Kadosh, but these trees happen to be almond trees. And they come from all over Israel to these particular trees, and they hang up bags on the branches of these trees. And inside the bag, they put the name of a friend. The person's not supposed to do it for themselves, but for a friend of theirs. And they hang it up on these trees on Tu B'Shvat. And a family member of mine, as I was mentioning, from Ashkelon, made the voyage, the trip out to Tzfat the day before Tu B'Shvat. And he came to that particular tree there, the almond tree. And this is true for any almond tree in Israel. He liked that particular place because it's a holy spot. And he took a bag, and there he put in the name of his daughter. And he hung it on the tree. And sure enough, the girl was 28 years old after many, many years of waiting for her shidduch. And it was only a few months later that she got engaged. It's an incredible concept. How does it work? I don't know. We have unbelievable sigulot in Am Yisrael. The mechanics, don't look at me. But this I got to tell you. This I have to tell you. You know, a great story was going around in Israel that this past January when I was there, when I came to my brother's house, Ari, he told me, Duvi, I got to tell you this. He says, you know about that sigula of Tu B'Shvat? About people wanting to get married, hanging the name on a tree, an almond tree, a fig tree? I said, yeah. Actually, recently I came across it in the Sfarim. He says, you got to hear this. He says, I have a neighbor right here in my building that the father went out to an almond tree somewhere and hung the name of his daughter on the branch of the tree. And sure enough, at the end of that year, she found and met Mr. Right, her Hatan, and they got engaged. By the engagement party, she thought it'd be cute, so she turned to her father and said, hey, look at that. the almond tree came through. And the father starts laughing. Yeah, take a look, you're right. It actually worked. Her chatan hears this and turns to him and says, almond tree? What almond tree? And she says, well, we happen to have a segula that my father found out about. And he went all the way out to Tzfat. And he went there to an almond tree right next to the kever Pinchas ben Yair. And he hung the bag there with my name in it for me to get married that year. And he says, that's so funny. Because I just went out to Tzfat about a few months ago. I heard about this segula as well, says the boy. And I hung my name on that tree as well. And they looked at each other and it was cute. Look at that. We both hung the same thing on the tree, on the same tree. And we both got engaged to each other. I was thinking, who's the shatchan, the tree? Okay. But and now they're going to form a family tree. I mean, it's beautiful, right? I can go on and on with this. We'll leave it. But what's amazing to me was that after they got married, they traveled up north and they went to the Kvarim and they went to the city of Tzfat to go praying there by the holy sites. And they walked up together to the almond tree at the bottom of the mountain where her father hung her name over a year and a half before that, and so did the Chatan. And when they climbed up to see if their names, just for cuteness, if their names were still there, they saw that both their names were hung on the same branch, right next to each other, coincidentally, on the same tree. There are incredible sigulot in Am Yisrael. How does this work? I don't know. Am I purveying sigulot? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is this. Every person has a zivug. Do you think that Hashem waited for that person to go and find an almond tree and go and hang up their name on a bag on Tu B'Shvat? No. You know what I think Hashem waited for? Hashem waited that on that day of Tu B'Shvat, everyone is so busy about running around and buying fruits for themselves, and the baksar, and the shahianu, and what am I going to eat this year, Tu B'Shvat? These people were running out and hanging and thinking about other people and hanging their names on the almond trees so that they should be able to become wed that year. It's the selflessness. It's the concept that the Gemara tells us, that when a person goes and does for somebody else, when a person stops and he focuses on the tzara and the issues and the problems of other people, that stirs in heaven a tremendous mercy, a great ratzon. It brings Yeshuot, and tenfold when it's done in a group. And that's